My name is Kennedy Singwe. I'm a graduate of Egerton University. I did manufacturing engineering and technology from the year 2006 and I graduated in 2011. I chose engineering as a course because I saw that it had a lot of potential and it's something I really wanted to do. I got an internship to work with an NGO for a short period of time, and then after the internship it has really been difficult to get a job that is really sustainable. So I had to struggle to go through a lot. I was almost giving up, and then I decided that I always have to have something for my family. So I started doing manual jobs, construction jobs, kazi ya mjengo, kazi ya mkono. That's what I've been doing for some time now. I always receive notifications on email every day. I apply for these jobs. I've gone for several interviews, but I've never really gotten positive feedback. So I decided that maybe somehow my education is not sufficient. So I got a chance, scholarship to study in China. I did renewable energy, that is clean combustion technologies for rural areas in developing countries. So I've added that certificate to my collection of certificates, but I've not been able to get a job after China. When it comes to jobs, sometimes they ask for experience. I may not have all the experience. So every year that I stay outside, I'll always be competing with fresh graduates who have maybe their knowledge is somewhat different and they're fresh from school, so they know a bit more. I always try to read more, try to practice what I learned in school to always keep up to date. I wake up with it. It's not a job that I really enjoy doing because it's really hard. The pay is so little. It gets roughly 600 shillings, that's 500 for the pay, and 100 shillings for lunch or for meals. And sometimes you have to commute, you use the money for transportation, and you have to send something to your family for food. Sometimes you go far away from home. I sometimes look back and sometimes I wish that I had done something else like law or medicine, because I had passed in my high school, and because I see there seems to be opportunities in those areas, but sometimes I want to go back to university, start all over again, and see maybe another opportunity will come up. Starting from my primary school education, I got an A of 82 points, that is 567 marks from Olezo's Primary, and then I proceeded to Kapsawet Boys High School, where I scored an A- of 74 points. From my village, people always looked up to me. I would go to schools, I would go to rallies, I would go to churches, speak to students, and encourage them to pursue an higher education. When I go to the village, they call me an engineer, but they can't see anything in this engineer. It's just a name that I have. I lost my father when I was in high school, and we had to struggle paying my fees in high school. And so, as it was expected, I was to help my mother improve our living standards, make our lives a little bit better, but it's been hard. I've not really given up, and I always wish and I always hope in the next 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, I'll be doing what I love best, and that is working as an engineer.
Even at time I was even thinking of banning them because they are not assisting me in any way. And you know, the biggest enemy of a human being is time. If I just continue being the way I'm unemployed, other people are still graduating. So it's their time to come and take over. I did my degree and finished in April 2012, and I decided to go back for my master's. I did a master's in banking and finance at Mo University, and later on I decided to go back and do my PhD. which I did in January 2015. I did my coursework, that is a PhD in Business Administration, Finance option, and I finished my coursework. So at the moment I'm working for my thesis, mostly in a bank. I worked for a period of 4 years, and then because of the demands of the job, I resigned from the bank in mid-2017. From there, because I still have a family to take care of, I have bills to pay. So what I did, I decided to join the taxi business so that at least I can make some money. That is what I've been doing for the last almost 4 years now. Still having hope that one day I'll still get a job and work somewhere. By the end of the day, the amount of time you have invested in that education, yet you cannot get or secure that job opportunity, it's quite frustrating. People look at you, sometimes they laugh at you. They see the time that you have spent in school, yet you are working as a taxi driver. When you graduate, you always put a portrait of you graduating. And then the kids, they are looking at these pictures, seeing how their dads and their moms, they have managed to prosper as far as education is concerned. But yet the other kids will be telling them that your dad is a taxi driver. So don't tell us your dad is learned. So you know your dad is a taxi driver. For me, I'm not ashamed of what I have or whatever I'm doing, because by the end of the day I need to pay bills. I can comfortably talk it daytime, nighttime, anytime and anywhere that I'm a taxi driver who is doing his PhD.
Working so hard, getting a first class honors, no job, I just regret it. And I feel like I should have been given the money to start something else. I'm 25 years old and I graduate from Karatina University. I graduated 2017 with a first class honors in BSc microbiology. I thought I would get a direct ticket of working in an office, but it was all just a fantasy. Farming, that is the main thing I'm doing currently, and I'm not happy about it. That is not what I like. I'm doing it just to survive, you know. I worked so hard. I really wanted to be that scientist that would appear one time in a magazine. When people see me getting my djembe and going to a farm, they just laugh because they say, I wasted my 4 years in school, then I'm just like them. 2018, there was a government internship I applied for. Then I was called for an interview. Those guys doing the interview went through my papers. They were surprised. Then they told me, Isaac, just go look for a job somewhere else. You don't fit here. And then I asked them why. They told me, because you are so smart. I was disappointed because, you know, when you know you can do something and then you are not given the opportunity, you get angry at times.
Valentine Ochieng, 29 years old now, and went through Moi University. I got a second class lower division in civil aviation management. I also applied for several jobs after graduation, that is 2016, and I got an internship with an airline company. Then when the internship was over, I continued applying for more jobs, that is specifically in the airlines sectors, but it like all fell in a deaf ear. So I had to look for other alternative means of survival. I had some small savings. That was about 500 shillings. I had to start some banana business. Then after that, I got another job. That is the teaching job now, which I did for some time. Then I still had the business mind, because I've been frustrated all along. I get a job, it goes out of hand. I start another one, it gets out of hand. So I thought to myself that I can start something that at least I can do for long term. I also thought that what I have at hand, apart from just doing that business of bananas, I know how to make samosas. Samosas, I sell them in the street. I have like a small base where I take my trolley to. My customers know that that place, like I partially own it. Most of the people around knows that mtu wa samosa, that's how they call me. I do it willingly. It dawned on me that life has to move on. However much I didn't get whatever I wanted, that is the jobs, I have now to do what I have at hand. It's what always pays my rent. It also brings some few coins that I can send home and do some little development at home. So I can't complain about it. I also offer online classes. So we do it through Zoom, the Zoom technology. So it's a very nice platform whereby you can communicate with the student. You illustrate on the whiteboard. He or she can do an assignment there and you can mark online. I teach specifically mathematics, chemistry, and geography. I think it's high time we as youths, we have to look at what we have at hand, right? Remember even the story of Moses in the Bible. God asked him, what do you have at hand? He said, I just have a rod. Yes, fine, go ahead, use it. So I think it's high time we as youth, we can as well approach life in that perspective.
Many universities have over time seemingly chose to end the year churning out their pride, going by the number of graduation ceremonies that are conducted annually. While graduation ceremonies give a reason to celebrate, graduates are soon faced with the daunting prospects the outside world has to offer. The most daunting is unemployment, given the number of graduates entering the job market each year. Approximately 30,000 university students graduated in December 2019. The University of Nairobi produced the highest number of graduates, 8,428, while Kabarak University produced the least, 922. Kisii University had 5,110 graduates, while Kenyatta University had more than 6,000 graduates. More than 6,000 students graduated at Moi University. In June, 3,545 students graduated from the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, adding to thousands of others from smaller universities. 39% of Kenya's youth are unemployed, according to census data, further widening the gulf between the rich and the poor. A staggering 4 million youths who are qualified for work in the Kenyan market are unemployed, as revealed by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics in April 2020. The report further indicates that the youth aged between 20 and 34 made the highest number of those out of the job market.
The huge figures of youth unemployment is threatening perhaps the social structure in the country, and the level of dissatisfaction and discontent amongst the youth is growing. Of course, the current COVID-19 situation has made that even worse. The biggest challenge, I think, has been the gap between these high numbers of youth that are graduating and the jobs available in the formal economy. So we have over time lost that connection between the caliber and the quantity and the numbers of graduates coming out of our various institutions, be it technical institutions or diploma colleges or universities.
Graduates often find that their courses didn't prepare them for or keep them up to date with the technical and practical skills they need in their first jobs, otherwise known as soft skills. These are the knowledge and abilities required to perform a job. The Federation of Kenya Employers FKE, in a survey dubbed 2018 Skills Mismatch report, indicated that employers were spending a lot of money to retrain graduates who came out of school.
Employers are really looking at a person who will come and be able to take off, and you're not having to reinvest for them to relearn things which you assumed they had gone through. So we check what kind of curriculum have you gone through. Some learning institutions have a better reputation than others because over time you have seen graduates from this university, from this college perform better, so they are known. There was a ranking of universities recently in some survey, and it was very clear that some have good names, some don't. Because some of these universities, we produced very many universities, and the quality of learning perhaps went down over time. So when you advertise a job, you get hundreds of applications. There are lots of qualified people, brilliant young people. But beyond the technical qualifications on paper, what's your attitude to this job? What soft skills do you have in terms of communication, in terms of IT skills, in terms of respect? How do you operate within a team? How do you take correction? Do you go beyond the call of duty and share your ideas? The ability to complete a task. Can you be trusted to deliver within the target, within the timelines agreed?
The report also indicated that the uptake of master's degree courses is on the rise in the job market, offering competition for job positions with a degree requirement.
The degree holders and the master's holders are slowly crowding out those who have diploma certificates or those who have this mid-level skills, so they have nowhere to go because the jobs have been taken over by the many people who have higher skills who are taking on lower level jobs because they cannot find the jobs that match the qualifications that they have.
The survey further showed 16% of existing job opportunities had taken more than 6 months to fill due to lack of skills and experience among the participating firms.
There has been a lot of investment by the private sector in skills development, but even this was not well informed by what curriculums are these students going through. So we need to look at the curriculums, and we need to look at the mid-level qualifications. So this requires a national strategy on skills development, which Kenya has worked on, but it's not been happening fast enough to bridge the gap between the graduates and the needs of the labor market.
The people that you have, not so many people will be very much comfortable in giving you a chance because they see you more so like a threat, and like seeing you like a young person who is energetic and is willing and able to work for you.
To address this dire state of affairs, in 2017 the government announced an ambitious project that aimed to create 100,000 jobs annually as a means of stemming unemployment. Through the program, graduates were to land paid internship opportunities within various government agencies.
The Public Service Commission is advertising a job, like that one I've applied several times, right? Even the internship in the Public Service Commission, but it's like you never heard of any shortlisting or maybe interviews.
I always believe if you don't know anybody in this country, nobody knows you. So that's why we have a lot of unemployed youth in the country.
We need to revive the economy in the counties and to be able to create jobs there for them, so that you get a job on merit and people don't have to go through who do you know, which is how our system has functioned for a long time, which is not fair. We've also been talking about job centers in all the counties where students and young people can go and register themselves, and this is where the National Employment Authority was formed, so that this job center is a place where employers who are looking for different skills can go and interview young people there.
The number of youth joining the job market annually is estimated to be 800,000.
Let them try to create opportunities or slots for those students that do their best in their studies, you know.
The government should always look at the end result. If we train, say, 500 engineers, where do you expect them to go in the next 5 years after graduation? It should be something that is continuous. It should be something that the government should have a very big plan, a very long-term plan for employment.
Let investors also invest in young people. If a young person has an idea, let those who can try to assist them. If you have any finances, just come in.
We cannot blame the government or blame anybody because we are unemployed. No, because these are choices that we decided to make. It's our investment that we decided to invest in education.
Employers providing opportunities for youth to be attached to them, for them to learn on the job. So this has happened in Kitui, it has happened in Busia and in Kilifi. It's actually going on phase 2 of it, to see if we can encourage employers in those areas to take on youth and also be trainers themselves, be mentors, and give some skills to the youth.
Kenya's years of strong economic growth have created jobs, but they're mostly low-paying, informal, and coming at a rate that economists say is too low to absorb the rapidly growing population. Over 700,000 jobs were created in 2018, while the economy expanded by 6.3%, but 90% of the new jobs are in the poorly paid, informal sector.
Even when the government has good initiatives like Kazi kwa Vijana, what kind of work is that? It's not decent work. The kind of incomes that they have is insufficient. There's no career progression. You're not utilizing the skills that you've acquired. So this high level of dissatisfied and happy youth is a ticking time bomb, because they're seeing the older generation as people who are blocking them. We need to look at the sectors that can create jobs for them, and decent jobs at that, which pay a wage that is able to sustain them, so that they can realize their aspirations. I think a lot of initiatives are being initiated and are ongoing to address this, but it's not happening fast enough and it's not sufficient. So it's something that needs to be addressed urgently.
Despite having a young, ambitious and well-educated workforce eager to contribute to the development of the country, in contrast, Kenya has the highest youth unemployment rate at 22.2%, significantly higher than in neighboring Tanzania at 5.2%, and Uganda 4.0%. In Rwanda and Burundi, the unemployment rate was at 3.3% and 3.1% respectively.
Although Kenya has advanced tremendously in ICT, we haven't done so well, such as a country like Rwanda, that was able to create jobs for their own people within the same sector. We've been fairly generous and open in allowing other nationals from the neighboring countries, from different parts of the world, to come and take on jobs that perhaps could be done by Kenyans. Jobs that don't require really specialized technical skills. You still find that there are foreigners doing it. In our open economy approach, that also has a cost element to it.
The government has made numerous efforts to address the issue of youth unemployment by reforming the technical and vocational education and training subsector TVET. Most notably, the construction sector has in the past experienced shortages in certified masons and plumbers, blamed on a shift of focus to university education. In order to achieve the Kenya Vision 2030, the country needs 90,000 technicians and over 400,000 artisans to plug the current shortage. This is similar in fashion and design and automotive engineering. This is a serious challenge for Kenya, especially since the manufacturing and oil and gas sectors are expected to expand in the coming years.
The mid-level colleges, the technical colleges, and vocational training was something that we had invested in the earlier years, but over time, most of these were converted into universities. So you'd see university constituent colleges everywhere, in all towns, in all sorts of odd places, and we're not looking at the mid-level skills. I think inadvertently we also sent the message to the young graduates that you need to have a degree, even if you're really stronger and better and more interested in the hands-on skills. You want to be an electrician, you want to fix roads.
According to experts, if the youth would open their eyes to the opportunities that TVET institutes present, the country would be leaps closer to dealing a body blow on the runaway unemployment in our midst.
Technical and vocational training is the way to go. FKE does work with the TVET authority, we are represented there, and how the technical and vocational area can be mainstreamed into our curriculum. So you have two parallel systems. What I call those who get the intellectual learning and go up to master's, PhD level. And if you get someone who's an artisan, you start off by being an artisan 1, 2, and 3, eventually becoming a master's degree holder, and even up to degree level or PhD level. This is a system that we have seen in other parts of the world.
The unemployment headache appears to be far from over as more Kenyans continue to lose jobs in the massive business closures witnessed across the country. Data from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics indicates that 1.72 million workers lost their jobs in 3 months to June, when Kenya imposed coronavirus-induced lockdown that led to layoffs and pay cuts. Young people were the hardest hit by job cuts compared to their counterparts aged above 35 years.
I think the speed of recovery that Kenya will realize from this COVID-19 pandemic largely depends on a robust strategy that we can come up with, but also issues of trust and accountability. Because every other day there's a story somewhere about corruption, about money disappearing. Is it true that COVID-19 money has disappeared? That really sends a message of hopelessness to Kenyans, because people need hope at this time.
To tackle Kenya's high youth unemployment, it will require concerted efforts from the private sector, academia and government to work together and develop innovative business models, industry-relevant curricula and enabling national policies so that graduates entering the job market can secure employment and avoid doubting the degrees they worked so hard for.